thank you, everybody. My name is Clercq. I'm the founder and CEO of Kickfurther. I'm going to get started right on time because I think we're a little bit late. Yeah, exactly. So make the best use of everybody's time here. So briefly, my background is I came to this world through supply chain management. So essentially what we're solving and what we're building at Kickfurther, I don't know if anybody's familiar with Pipe, but Pipe was trying to build the NASDAQ of recurring revenue. We are very much building what I'm considering the NASDAQ for physical inventory assets. So the problem we're solving, we're a marketplace business, is every single product business that exists has the same exact issue. Before you can sell some physical thing, you have to pay somebody to make it, right? A manufacturer, often in China, they are not going to trust some entrepreneur here in the US to give their inventory on credit terms, right? So there's this cash flow gap that pretty much every single entrepreneur, every single product business has to deal with, which is how do I pay my manufacturers before I get the inventory to sell and get the cash flow and keep growing. And the faster your business is growing, the more of a problem this is. So famously, Phil Knight in the book Shoe Dog, he talks about the inventory finance crunch when Nike was growing 100% every 6 months. It was like the number one problem that they had to solve. So what we've done is we've developed a marketplace where anybody can buy those inventory assets on consignment. So pretty much the entire world operates in this before Kickfurther scheme, right? So you, me, everybody else, money sitting in banks. Those banks are lending to leveraged lenders, typically online. Bluevine and Clercq are a couple of examples, but there's many. There's Ampla, 8Fig, Marcus, Shopify Capital, PayPal Working Capital. So there's lots of these solutions in market. And we see...
Is this kind of reverse factoring?
So it's inventory on consignment. So it's not really reverse factoring. It's closer to like work in production funding for inventory, but for highly qualified product businesses. So pretty much the way it works is everybody lends to these product businesses at really, really high rates, right? If you look at merchant cash advance, it can be like 40, 60, 100%. APR when it all is said and done. And then those entrepreneurs are taking that cash, they're going to their manufacturer, turning that cash into physical assets, and then they're bringing them back into a warehouse and trying to sell them for profit, right? And what we've done at Kickfurther is to create an exchange that kind of turns this model on its head. So now anybody, you, me, anybody in this room, family offices, funds, can participate by buying inventory directly from manufacturers. We have that inventory produced, shipped to the business, and placed on a consignment contract where we're tied into their various inventory management and sales technologies. And then as the inventory is decremented, Kickfurther invoices and ACH debits the business and then distributes those consignment profits pro rata to all of the people that funded the original cost of goods of that inventory. So what we've done is we're leveraging this consignment contract. We're not the first ones to do it. Famously, prior to Sports Authority's bankruptcy, they had a ton of their inventory on consignment. They were well known to do it. And so one of the things that's really strong about consignment is it provides inventory at pretty much 100% cost. Now that creates a riskier position because you're funding a greater value of the inventory assets, but the courts also recognize that and they offer much greater protections for people that have inventory on consignment than for unsecured lenders. And we're seeing that today as delinquencies rise. Kickfurther is getting significantly better outcomes than all of the merchant cash advance purportedly secured lenders that are out there in market.
Can you help me understand when you're saying consignment, that means the supplier still owns the inventory?
So actually, let's say you participate on Kickfurther, you buy the inventory from factory XYZ, it's placed on a consignment contract, and then the inventory is shipped to the business. As that inventory is sold, we invoice that business and then pay the consignment.
Can I get a little bit of a harder example? I'm Nike, I produce a sneaker, and you buy the inventory and it goes to Dick's. And then Dick's sells it, and then you collect the money from Dick's and you pay Nike?
So depending, we can get that AR assignment. So that is one of the other de-risking levers that we have. But no, in a lot of cases, Nike or Dick's would then pay Nike, and then Nike would then distribute the proceeds, or we would invoice and ACH debit Nike and distribute the proceeds once Nike got paid. That's the way it's typically working, and that works better for e-commerce.
So you have individual investors, institutional investors who are funding this.
Yeah, buying the inventory actually. So you're actually,
Got it.
the transaction is actually a purchase of inventory. You're converting cash into physical assets that are then placed on consignment with a product business.
Right, so there's another marketplace.
Is a discrete transaction.
Each deal is done for a specific package of inventory. This is the way these product businesses work, right? So it's like, hey, I've got this PO. It's $200,000 with this factory to provide the next 4 months of inventory for my business, right? And so we'll take that $200,000 purchase order with the factory, we'll chop it up, and you can buy, let's say, $500 package of inventory, or two $500 packs of inventory. So you can buy as much or as little of the inventory position as you would like through the marketplace.
Oh, so, okay.
There's another marketplace we have presented in the past, and they were a marketplace of lending extension. So basically, companies like Google and Facebook don't pay their bills for 90 days. Right. And so they would allow family offices to go and buy that debt and extend it for another 30 days. And they would factor the debt to the family offices at a decent premium that the Google and Facebook, would pay. So you're getting, basically, you're issuing debt from the highest quality companies in the world that have massive amounts of cash on hand, right? But anyway,
it's kind of like the C2FO model, as I understand, right? C2FO does a kind of a similar thing there.
yeah, this is fascinating. Yep.
So are you the marketplace is appealing to sort of a crowdfunding of these various transactions, right?
So it is structured in such a way that it can be thought of as crowdfunding. So like I said, you can buy one pack for $500 and we're going to provide service for that user. What we are seeing is that there are, most of the funding on our marketplace today, 75% is driven by family offices that we have relationships with. So this is where
kind of return people would expect to get.
Oh, so I have a slide on that, but it's from 2018 to 2020, which are our most recently fully matured portfolios. We delivered a 14. Yeah, that we can ignore because we just talked through all of that. But this slide is right here. So annualized consignment profit, which you can think of as like an XIRR measure, through 2020 was 14.4% on those years blended. So to go back to it, sorry, I'm just jumping around here with the questions. So we're talking about this. One of the big things that we're seeing today is that there's a massive contraction in the space, right? So as interest rates go up, all these lenders that are setting up these structured funds, when you used to be able to borrow at 2%, your risk aperture looked like this. And now you're borrowing at 7, 8, 9%. Everybody's tightening up their risk aperture. And what that means for us as a marketplace is we can be a lot more selective as a lot more deal flow is hitting the marketplace, right? So we've seen in the last year, our acquisition has gotten easier and we've got a lot more demand for our consignment profit as the interest, pretty much in line with as the interest rates have increased. And the last time that happened was in 2020, which was a banner year for us with the pandemic. When the shutdown happened, there's like news articles about this. You can read every one of these lenders to small and medium businesses pulled credit for a time. And all of these businesses hit market. We were able to get the cream of the crop and we delivered 20% IRR blended in 2020. So that was a killer year for us. But we're seeing the same trends happening today. And one of the major things is that other providers are all issuing loans, right? So these are worse products. When you look at a product business, product entrepreneurs will say cash flow is king, right? That's like a well-known thing in the world of product. So for us, we are funding 100% cost of goods of the inventory on consignment. We get that better security on the tail end, but that means we have de facto the best cash flow solution for people that are looking specifically to fund inventory. So if you've got an ongoing business and you're looking to seek to serve future customer demand, consignment in this environment is the best solution for you. So because we're providing that 100% cost of goods, we're able to win the best deal flow on the market. And let's be real, all of the lenders are playing the same game, right? It's identify the good borrowers, right? And give them as much funding as you can and keep the bad borrowers out of your ecosystem, right? So we're doing that through this AI ML model, which, what is this? Buyer demand. Okay, so
about 5 minutes.
Yeah.
What's
so
net
we're
revenue?
building out. Our net revenue is $3 million. We earned $3 million last year. We grew 80%, had an 187% gross profit improvement last year as well. So we're bringing on an XGBoost ML model that's improved our area under the curve from 60% to 72% based on our historical data model. Why participate now? Well, every single meaningful marketplace statistic we have is up and to the right. Our data infrastructure is built out, producing great results. We've got an awesome operations team. We deployed a subscription model about 14 months ago that shifted us up market. And we've just seen tremendous success against that subscription model in moving us up market and bringing highly qualified businesses to the marketplace.
So are you looking for H&W to participate in the marketplace, or are you looking for capital for your company?
So we have 3 opportunities here for you today. Great question. It couldn't be more timely, your question. So we have opportunity number 1. We are raising a Series A. We're raising $12 million on a $75 million pre-money valuation. We have 6.25 million of that allocated. There's 5.75 million available. That is the, that's kind of like the unicorn opportunity.
Your valuation is?
We're looking at a 75 million pre-money valuation. We funded $58 million of inventory through the marketplace last year in 2022.
And your revenues are 3 million.
3 million. Yep, correct.
How much runway does that like?
One of the main milestones for the Series A is reaching cash flow positive, which we are currently projecting as February of 2024. So we are on track to cash flow positive. It'll take us $3 million to get there. We have 1.5 million in the bank today. So we're pretty much on track for that.
What's the other? Raising 12, right?
Yeah, so I would be glad to grab a future conversation because there's more to dive into. But largely, it's just we have 2 leadership roles that we're looking to fill: a chief risk officer and a chief financial officer. We need the CFO to get us ready for an IPO in about 7 years, which is the timeline we're looking for there. The other opportunity we have is, please, if you want, you can create a user account on Kickfurther today, start participating. Like I said, $500, $1,000, we'd be a lot happier, and you can get much better allocations of deal flow if you allocate more capital to the platform. Let's say 5 million or 10 million, like some of these other family offices. And one of the last things we're looking at doing, which is like the most hands-off, is one of the existing family offices we have that has $10 million to work on the platform is looking to structure, add a senior lender on top of their equity position. So we're looking for about $30 million as like either senior or mezzanine to come on top of a $10 million current equity position in the portfolio. And that would be the most hands-off, kind of easiest option.
What's the duration of the money that I put into? How long is
The
it?
structured fund?
No, I'm talking about the investing in the marketplace. What's the duration when I put, $10, $20, $30,000 into the marketplace? How long is it locked up for?
So, I mean, it's literally variable depending on the deals you're in. So we have inventory deals that are like, hey, I need to release goods now. They're going straight to Target and I get paid in 60 days. We see like 60-day turnaround, 90-day turnarounds are not uncommon. The longest term deals that we'll have on Kickfurther are 10 months.
That's pretty good.
And what are the risks?
At what IR again?
14% blended between 2018 to 2020.
What are
60
the
days
risks
to 10
to
months.
these deals on your marketplace?
What are the risks? Primarily it's entrepreneurs being too optimistic, right? That's the number one thing that we control for. So look, there's a lot of risks. Do I have a slide on this? I have a slide. I don't know if
Right,
it's
how
on
much
this
due
deck.
diligence
Right. I'm like, look, there's a lot of risks.
How
So
much due diligence do you do on the?
we do a lot. So we've been doing this for 8 years, right? We see risk, and I think we have a pretty unique view, right? So one of the things I'll say is we are specific to physical goods funding entrepreneurs, right? Which means we're not just doing like advertising firms, graphic design. So we look at risk for these product businesses across 6 risk verticals. One is production risk, which is how likely is it that the stuff that you want to get made actually gets made? One is distribution risk. How likely is it that you're going to be able to sell the stuff that you're making? And then business credit, owner credit, business acumen, are they doing the right things? And then we spread the financials and we look for financial risk within the business as well. So we look across those 6 risk verticals. The first 2, production and distribution risk, are relatively unique to our marketplace and the way that we serve product entrepreneurs.
How do you make money?
We operate with a subscription fee to the product entrepreneurs. They pay us a subscription to access, for us to ingest all of their data, qualify them and package it up into these consignment opportunities. And we earn a 50 basis point allocation fee for larger funders that use our allocation tool. But if you don't, and you just wait for the deals to go live, then you can participate for free as a funder on the platform today.
Okay. And you're intending to put up a fund that would be investing in your deals?
So
the manager of the funds you're putting into your
So we will.
Universally across all your deals.
Right. So we have an equity. Tom Golisano is one of our investors. His family office is currently participating in the marketplace right now. And so they have $10 million to work, and they would be looking to structure on top of their $10 million portfolio to pretty much fund all of the inventory that comes through our ML model, our machine learning model.
Can people invest in that pool?
That fund is one of the opportunities, the third opportunity that we're raising for right now. So we're looking for the senior providers for that structured fund on top of Grand Oaks Capital, or participate directly in the marketplace, or the Series A are the three opportunities we've brought.
So when will that structured fund be available?
We are actively negotiating right now. So we have the equity providers already in, they're ready to go. And once we find good market terms for the senior provider, then, we would be happy to get that moving in Q1. March 31st is kind of an idea that we had.
Didn't we have a marketplace yesterday who said they would guarantee 2% loss?
Yeah.
Do you do anything like that?
Guaranteed 2% loss?
Right, they would guarantee
They
against the 2%
provide-
loss. So it's like a first loss provider.
They
Protection.
provide 2% first loss protection.
Yeah.
It was a factoring company. They offer 2% first
Which-
loss to their investors.
I mean, which is, right? So we had that first loss hedge fund that came in many years ago. They had like 50 million under management. Now they're like the $5-10 billion under management because it's such a great strategy. Because you don't lose.
Yeah.
Have you thought about that?
That's not a product offering we have today. I think the best option for that is the structured fund, where you've got the equity position that's going to take all of the risk. So that's like kind of a middle path, but it certainly is something we can consider, and I'm not opposed to it. I think it's easier when you're doing it on a transaction basis. With our subscription model, we're not earning a percent of these deals, right? We're very much just operating this exchange. So I could consider it.
Insured loss maximum 2%. You'd have to lock off something of the game, right?
There's different ways to
Your
structure
returns
it,
would suffer on the
Yeah.
at the
It
top
should,
in order to protect the loss.
Right, but I mean, the buy, I mean, look, our guys flocked into all kinds of private debt back in 2010. I mean, 14% is not, it's pretty good, I think.
Yeah.
On a short duration